I'm Katie, and this is Kinsley, and this is Keto Cooking with Katie and Kinsley. Thanks for watching our video. We're coming at you guys live from Cochrane, Alberta. We're right by Calgary, and the weather's not so nice today here. It's snowing and cold and not nice. Winter's back. But today we're going to be making a really delicious meal. It's a Hollandaise chicken lasagna without the noodles. So I'll explain that to you in a minute here. But if you guys are watching this live, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, drop a 2. And if you don't mind, at the end of the video, share it out for me. And also comment where you guys are watching from. I'd like to connect with you after. So to get started, well, first, Kinsley, did you want to say hi? Or what do you have with you today? She's being shy. I guess she doesn't want to share. That's okay. So to get started, I've prepared a few things already just to speed it up. So first things first, you're going to need half a yellow onion. So I have it all diced up here already. And I have some oil, about a tablespoon. I used olive oil. It's in my pan. It's heated up. It's ready to go. So I'm going to put in half a cup, not a half cup, half of a yellow onion into that hot frying pan. And then I have about a cup of sliced mushrooms. So there might be a little bit more than a cup here, but I'm just going to put it all into that hot frying pan and get that going. So we're just going to cook that up in our frying pan. You just want it to be nice and tender because we're going to put this in our chicken lasagna. So I'll show you guys what it looks like in the pan. There it is. I'm just going to turn it up a little bit to get it going. So that is our onions and mushrooms. Now, we'll move on to, oops, I'm so sorry. Now, that wasn't very good. My stand, my phone popped out. But we will move on to something else while that is cooking. Kinsley is showing you guys the pack of Hollandaise sauce. So rather than me making it from scratch, I'm just using a pack today. So I've also prepared that. It's just set aside, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So while my mushrooms and onions are going, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our zucchinis ready. I've started the zucchinis, but I'll show you what we're going to do with them. I left one not cut. So instead of noodles, we're using zucchinis today. So what you're going to do is wash them, and then you're just going to cut off the ends of the zucchinis. And then you're going to cut them lengthwise. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit so you can see it more. Kinsley's got her Paw Patrols. Kinsley, can you plant them right here? I'll get you to help me in 1 second, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the zucchinis lengthwise. And I'm going to try and get it in as thin as strips as possible because they're going to be our noodles. So I will go ahead and do that. I'm not the best at cutting these. Some of them sometimes, yeah, don't look so pretty. But that's okay. It all tastes the same, right? So I'm doing that. And you could also make just a traditional lasagna with a tomato sauce, some ground beef, and use the zucchini noodles too. If you don't like chicken or Hollandaise sauce, or even make an Alfredo sauce and put an Alfredo sauce on it. That would be delicious too. So my zucchinis, I try and get them all the same thickness, but it's tough to do, especially when you're just using a knife. I'm sure there's a different tool out there I could use, but I don't have it. Kinsley? No, thank you. Okay, so here's what they look like once they're cut. Here's one that's not perfect. It's a lot skinnier than this one, but that's okay. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to lay them on a piece of paper towel. I lay them on a cookie sheet, and then you're gonna put some salt over them and then lay another piece of paper towel on. This helps to draw out some of the moisture. So I will show you that, what I have prepared. So here's my cookie sheet, piece of paper towel, and my other zucchinis that I've already sliced. So I'm just gonna blot some of that excess moisture off. I've got salt on these already. But I will just do that. And I will quickly, this one's kind of wet, but I'll quickly just lay these down. So I do this a little bit of I can't talk, ahead of time, so they have some time to sit, to draw out some of that moisture. So I'll just put a little bit of salt on these ones that I just laid down here. Okay, and I will set those aside. So those will be our noodles. Our mushrooms and onions are looking good. And to speed up the process, I've cooked my chicken already. But if you are making this from scratch, you won't have. So you're gonna need 2 chicken breasts. I cut my chicken up before I cook it into little pieces. Then I cook it, and you're gonna season it with salt and pepper. I just add however much I think is necessary. So it's pre-cooked, my chicken here. And my mushrooms and onions are starting to look good.
And cheese.
You like cheese? Yeah? What else can you tell everyone, Ken? Can you tell them anything? No? Pretty quiet? Alright, that's okay. And the next thing we're going to get started is our asparagus. I'm going to use asparagus that's in a can. It's the asparagus tip. You could do fresh asparagus too. I find it easier and faster though just to use ones in the can for this dish. And I'm going to drain them quickly. There we go. Drop in the comments what type of pasta dish is your favorite. Is it just spaghetti and meatballs? Fettuccine Alfredo? Carbonara? Drop in the comments what it is. Because I'm sure whatever it is, you could put on top of spaghetti squash, zucchini noodles, something else that's not full of carbs. Okay, so there's asparagus. You're just gonna slice it up into smaller pieces because it comes in little longer pieces. So I just cut it up there into smaller pieces. And our mushrooms and onions, they're looking good. They're done. So I'm gonna turn that off. I'll move that closer and I will pull it out. So if you're new to watching my videos, I do post the recipes after, so you do have them for future purposes. Sometimes it just takes me a little bit to get them posted because I'm busy with the kids or getting them fed. So now, Kinsley's got all of her Paw Patrols in my dish. So we're gonna grab a different dish. That one's probably not the cleanest anymore. So I'll quickly grab one. And this is the size that I'm gonna use. Last night I made this. I actually have one in the oven cooking so I can show you guys the finished product. And when I made it last night, I made it in 2 smaller dishes. And This one I plan on freezing because I don't really want to eat it for another 4 days. It is really good, but I don't want to get sick of stuff either. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put our zucchini noodles over there, is we're going to start with our hollandaise sauce. So like I said, I used a pre-packaged hollandaise sauce. You'll need to use the ingredients that it calls for on the package. This one called for milk, but because I'm making this a keto recipe, I'm gonna use heavy whipping cream rather than milk. And then just butter. So it's nice and easy. So here's my hollandaise sauce. It's already been made. I love hollandaise sauce. Eggs Benedict, one of my favorites. You can also make that a keto version. Just leave out the egg. Oops, sorry, I don't need anything in there. The muffin part, not the egg. Just use a piece of ham, and then could even throw in a tomato. And, oh, I don't know. Maybe he's on the couch still? Did you want to help me with this, Kinsley? Okay, so to get this layering, we're gonna start with some hollandaise sauce. So I'm gonna scoop a little bit into the bottom of my pan, and I'm just gonna spread that around. You don't need a lot because you wanna spread it throughout as you layer your lasagna. So that's what it looks like. It'll just help prevent it from sticking. And now the next thing that I'm gonna do is start laying some of my zucchini. So I'm just grabbing it. Kinsley, did you want to help me? She's busy playing with her Paw Patrols. I guess she's not wanting to help today, but that's okay. So I'm gonna start laying my zucchini down, and I'm gonna cover the bottom as best as I can. So again, they're all kind of different shapes and sizes. I'm gonna split one of these in half because they're not quite long enough for my pan. But there's what it looks like, that first layer of zucchini. Now, the next thing you're gonna add is the chicken. So just remember, don't put it all down because you're gonna make a couple layers. So I'm gonna take about half of my chicken. I'm gonna do 2 layers. So I'll take about half. So again, what's wrong? Oh, well, just stand and back up. There you go. So this is, again, 2 chicken breasts that I've cut up and cooked and seasoned with salt and pepper. So there's about half of my chicken. The next thing I'm gonna add on there is my mushrooms and onions. They're still gonna be a little hot, so I'm gonna grab a spoon. There we go. And I'm gonna just, same thing, do about half of them over my chicken. And so I just came up with this recipe. This is something my mom used to make. Not with zucchini, with actual lasagna noodles. And she watched the girls for me the other night, and she actually made it. So I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I should definitely try that and make it a keto version. So I did. I came home and I gave it a try, and it is delicious. So that's the mushrooms and onions there. Now I'm gonna take half of the asparagus and do the same thing. Just spread it out nicely in my dish. Asparagus, it reminds me of Caesars. If you guys are from Canada, you for sure know what I'm talking about. If you're watching from the States or somewhere else, very similar to Bloody Mary. Still different, but similar. Now I'm gonna add about 1/3 of what's left of my hollandaise sauce. Oh, Kinsey, you forgot Sky. You forgot Sky, you're one Paw Patrol. She's peacing out. So I'm just gonna spread it there.
Mom.
Yeah. And then you're going to use about 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. So I have it pre-shredded here. I don't buy pre-shredded cheese. I always just buy the brick and then I shred it myself. If you buy pre-shredded cheese, if you are doing keto, you just need to watch because sometimes it's coated with something that's not within our keto diet. So I'm just gonna now spread some mozzarella cheese over that hollandaise sauce.
Pee. Mom.
You gotta go pee? Daddy's upstairs, so he'll help you, okay? You go pee on your potty? Uh-oh. I will just have to call to Marin to come and help take her. Thankfully he's home. Just give me 1 sec, okay? Hey, Mai. Can you come help Kinsley go pee? Okay, sorry about that, guys. Marin's coming. He's with Paisley today. It always makes it a little easier when he's around. So here's what it looks like. That's our first layer. Now we're gonna start over again. So I'm gonna lay down some more zucchini.
Just wait a sec, Dad's gonna put Paisley down.
So I'll lay down more zucchini. And it's okay, I'm gonna use the outside pieces too. It all tastes the same. Lay it down. And again, I'm going to break a piece. Now I'm gonna do the rest of the chicken because this is my last full layer, I guess I would say. So there's the chicken. It's easiest to just use my hand. Messy, but easier. Put in the rest of the mushrooms and onions. And now if you didn't like onions, just leave them out. Or if there's something else you think that would be delicious in this, add it in. And now you're gonna use the rest of the asparagus. So this is a full can of asparagus that I've used.
Did you gotta go to the bathroom or you just
And if you were using fresh asparagus, I would suggest cooking it ahead of time, so steam it. There is the asparagus. Now I'm gonna add in another 1/3 of that hollandaise sauce. Spread it as best as I can. You might be able to hear Paisley. She's now in her jolly jumper. She just went today and got her 2nd round of vaccinations, and she was a champ. She did so good. Now I'm gonna do a handful of cheese. So this is still part of that same cup of shredded mozzarella cheese that I originally had. So you want to divide it kind of up into 1/3. That, and I'm gonna do 1 more layer of the zucchini, and then I'll do 1 more layer of just the hollandaise and just the cheese. Okay, so 1 more layer. And now you will notice it's definitely more watery than a regular lasagna. That's because of the zucchini. There's so much, it's so watery. But that's okay. It all tastes the same, like I said before. I'm gonna add now the rest of the hollandaise sauce on top. I told you guys I made this last night and I divided it into 2 smaller dishes. The one that I made last night turned out great. When I did cut into it, the pieces, it's hard to see the perfect layers. And then the one that I put in the oven before starting this video, it had a lot of water in it, so I just drained it. I just poured out some of that excess water that had settled before I popped it in the oven, so it's not as watery. So that was the rest of the hollandaise sauce on top. And now I'm going to add on the rest of the cheese. You can use more cheese if you like it really cheesy, but I figure there's definitely enough fat in this dish with that hollandaise sauce already. So there's the cheese. Now I'm just gonna give my hands a quick rinse. There we go. And that's what it looks like. So you're gonna set your oven, get it preheating for 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're gonna bake this for about 45 minutes. You can bake it covered. I have a lid right here. If you don't have a lid for your dish, just use some tin foil. Cover it up. And for the last 10 minutes of baking your dish, pull your lid off. So I'm gonna pop this into the oven, get it going. And I will pull out my other one. And now I should have taken the lid off of it earlier. But here is what it looks like finished. So there it is. It's just in a smaller dish, like I said. The hollandaise sauce and the water, it's kind of mixed together, but it tastes so good. You guys definitely need to try it. Yeah, so if you guys don't mind sharing this post out, that would be lovely. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry, Kinsley didn't help me out too much. I guess this one was kind of harder for her to help me with. But I hope you can try it out, and I hope you like it. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.